Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be how the narcissist continues to spiral downwards. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So spiraling downward, what does that mean? That means when something is not going up, it is not improving, it is not getting better. Think about a bathtub. You pull the cork out of the bathtub and all the water goes down the drain. Well, that's when everything goes spiraling downward. And with the narcissist, their life, their existence, their future, this will spiral downward. It probably is doing it right now, although they will never let you know about it or let others know about it. Or it already has happened multiple times, or it certainly will, and I can assure you, it will spiral downward in the future. Now again, I'm not a person who wishes ill will upon anybody. I'm not going to start now. I never have and I never will. I am just calling the facts the way they are. Number one, everybody's life goes sideways eventually. You now know that because you were in the narcissistic relationship for a period of time. Number two, the narcissist is still a human being. They are not immune to toxicity being placed upon them and their life as well. You see, the narcissist usually administers the punishment. They usually administer the abuse and the manipulation and all these things. But again, they can get played just like you were, and they do get played left, right, and center. The thing is, they never wanted you to figure that out. And so once you were out of that narcissistic relationship, what did you have to do? You had to heal. You had to learn about narcissism. You had to find that needle in a haystack. You had to slow your life down to process childhood wounds, to meditate, to journal, to see a therapist, to watch videos, to read and to write, etc. You were working on yourself. That's not what the narcissist was doing. What they were doing is they were looking forward to meeting another unsuspecting person or to recycle a other source of supply, because this is what the narcissist does. The narcissist continues in that loop of misery. They continue in that deep end of destruction, in the cesspool of manipulation. And what they want to do is they want to capture people for a period of time and keep them placed in the trauma bond, keep them placed in that narcissistic fog, which is the zombie-like, trance-like state where they have people placed on purpose. And once the narcissist extracts whatever they can from the person, which includes your resources, time, money, energy, effort, love, empathy, status, health, relationships, etc. Once they get whatever they want, then they move on, usually to a new source of supply. That is why so frequently people that have never been in a narcissistic relationship, they can't wrap their head around what you are talking about. And the reason why they can't do that is because they either A, are toxic themselves, but they don't want you to know about it, or B, they can't fathom that the person that you were in the relationship with was who you are telling them or were telling them that they were, because they only saw the mask. That these people that you were communicating with only saw the fakeness, the fake empathy, the fake caring, the fake showing up on time, etc. They didn't see all the abuse that you experienced in the four walls of your house when you were in that relationship. They didn't experience rage fits going 100 miles an hour on the freeway. They didn't experience the silent treatment sitting on a plane on an international flight for 8, 10, 12 hours. They didn't experience you being not talked to in your own house, or when that front door would open, who would be there, Dr. Jekyll or Mr. or Mrs. Hyde. You see, this is all by design. When the narcissist has built-in supply, which means somebody that is living under the same roof as them, and specifically if that person who turned out to be you is in love with the narcissist or loves the narcissist, well, that is like the narcissist having a piñata day in and day out to abuse, to pepper with verbal abuse, financial abuse, emotional abuse, at times physical abuse, and definitely spiritual abuse. But again, you weren't taught Narcissism 101, so you didn't know what you were up against. You didn't know that people could tell you one thing and actually do something completely different. It's not until you get out of the relationship that you put yourself back together and you dust yourself off and you pick yourself up by the bootstraps and you recognize that you are fortunate to be out of that relationship. Now, did you want to go through it? Absolutely not. But there was no other way. You had to go through it. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, when you were healing, what was the narcissist doing? Well, they just went on to a new source of supply. They went on to somebody new or other people, and they acted like, well, you're the one with the problems, and they smeared your name, and they administered the smear campaign and did all the negative things about you that they possibly could, meaning they probably parental alienated you, financially abused you, etc. Having said all these things, it's the narcissist's life that will spiral downward. Now remember, before they met you, they probably were coming out of a different relationship, which means the person that they were with previously, maybe they were toxic themselves. Possibly, but I doubt it, but maybe they were. Or the other person before they were in a relationship with you was a clean slate, and maybe they were an empath. Again, I doubt it, but maybe. They were probably an average human being, not at either extreme, meaning not the narcissist and not the empath. They're probably somewhere in the middle. And the narcissist took whatever they could from that person. They met you, played the vulnerable card perhaps, or said that you're the most amazing person since sliced bread, etc. Learned all about you, figured out what made you tick, entered a relationship with you, and boom, here we are. It probably happened something like that. Now again, in each and every narcissistic relationship, there are very pivotal, important periods of time. 1 would be when you tell them you love them. 2 would be when you marry them. 3, when you have kids. 4, when you relocate. 5, when you put a roof over their head. 6, when you pay their tuition through university or law school, whatever it is. 7 would be when the narcissist knows, and I mean knows, that they have you on the hook, which means it's too late. There's no turning back. Example, maybe your health took a hit, etc. Well, they now know that they have you where they want you. But any and or all of these things are what happened when you were in the relationship. Now, why I'm saying all these things, I'm setting this up for you because you were and or are a very kind, loving, stable, healthy person, maybe even an empath. You were giving to a fault, maybe a people pleaser, maybe a yes person. I can assure you, you didn't have boundaries, which meant you couldn't say no, the strongest word in the English language. Remember, when you say no to something or someone, you are saying yes to yourself, but you couldn't say it back then. So what was happening? Well, every day you would wake up and you would be hoping that today would be a better day than yesterday, and that tomorrow would be a better day than today. And you never quite got back to that euphoric / love bomb stage or the beginning of the relationship when the narcissist had that mask super glued to their face. Because once they knew they sank their dirty fangs into you, they knew that you would be theirs for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship, and at times a certain amount of time post-relationship until you find the needle in a haystack. But all these things I'm mentioning to you, this is what makes you you. This is why you are a resilient, courageous person, full of fortitude, strength, commitment, and this is why you figured out what narcissism was and how it affected you for a period of time. This is you putting yourself back together. Now you see, your life when you were in that relationship, to be totally blunt and honest with you, yeah, it was spiraling downward, but you just didn't know it because you weren't supposed to figure out what narcissism was. And you probably didn't figure it out until you got discarded or the relationship ended and you ended it yourself. Either way, my heart goes out to you because you were in the challenging relationship, i.e. the narcissistic relationship. But while your relationship and your life was spiraling downward, as I mentioned, the narcissist's life was improving. Now this, again, is by design. This is the narcissistic abusive cycle in a nutshell. The empath, or the kind, loving person, essentially you were putting the narcissist high up on a pedestal. You were doing everything you could for them to pump up the fragile ego. You were being the sounding board, the walking apology, the unpaid helper, the chauffeur, the pool person, meaning the pool boy or girl, the person who drove them, that picked them up, who shopped, who cooked, who cleaned, who walked the dog, who fed the kids, who paid tuition, who paid the mortgage. You did everything you possibly could, thinking that you were in a reciprocal, loving, stable, healthy two-way relationship. Nothing, and I mean nothing, could have been further from the truth. You were in a toxic, draining, narcissistic relationship which had your life spiraling downward. Okay, now that we've set the stage here, I've set the tone for what's going on. Post-relationship, once you've healed or you're well on the healing path, that is when your life improves. That is when your relationships perhaps could return, or you will build new relationships. This is when your health returns, your finances return, your clarity returns. This is when you go no contact, you block the narcissist, delete them and remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. This is when you will have to practice radical acceptance and understand that that relationship wasn't what you wanted it to be. It was what it was, which was a debilitating, challenging, toxic, taxing relationship that almost took you down for the count, but it didn't, because here you are and you're getting your cup full. Now, while your life right now, you're putting yourself back together and you're healing, or you have healed, the narcissist life is going sideways, whether you know it or not. Now, you may say right here, well, not so fast, Andrew. That's not what I see. The narcissist I was in a relationship with, their life is all puppies and rainbows, unicorns and butterflies and snickerdoodles and marshmallows and s'mores. Well, it isn't. Remember, when you were in that relationship with the narcissist, you were making excuses and you were covering for the narcissist because you thought you were in a stable, two-way, healthy relationship. and that is not the relationship you were in. But you didn't know what narcissism was. Now you do. Now you can look back at your relationship and figure out what gaslighting was, what triangulation was, what the smear campaign was, what rage fits were, what financial abuse was, what the mirroring was, what projection was, what the silent treatment, which is deadly, what that did to you. And now you can identify the definitions in the glossary on the narcissistic abusive cycle, because your experience and these definitions, they equal wisdom. And your wisdom is a newfound superpower. So now you can identify toxicity from a mile away, or you can identify it just by reading a text or reading an email or listening to the tone of someone's voice, etc. But this is all you now. You've now entered, or you're about to enter, the third version of you, the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind. This is a place where I call rarefied air. It is where only the abundant people arrive. It's where the people that have put themselves back together arrive. It is when you reach the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference, where you no longer care about the narcissist or anybody from that period of time. It's when you block them, etc. Now, while you are healing, or you have healed, the narcissist is going to be without the best source of supply, which was you. Again, I've said this so many times in videos. You are not a source of supply. You're a beautiful, bright, shining light. You are a kind, loving, healthy, beautiful person. You are needed, wanted, respected, loved, honored, cherished, and you are full of a newfound superpower now, which is the wisdom on the narcissistic abusive cycle, which is why you now have boundaries. But the narcissist, what are they doing? They're not having somebody in their life like you, because they will never, ever find somebody like you. The narcissist, when they went on to a new source of supply, no matter how old or young they are, they could never match what you provided. It's impossible. It will never be that way. So whereas I mentioned a few moments ago, you may be saying to yourself, the new supply, they're living their best life with the narcissist. Well, that's how it's supposed to appear to the exterior. Side note, pro tip, you should not know anything about the new supply. You shouldn't be stalking or peeking at their social media. You shouldn't want to know their whereabouts, what they're doing with the narcissist, or anything like that. You should drown all those people out, let them slither away and do whatever they're doing, because you have work to do on yourself. You have to heal, or you have healed. Either way, you need to maintain no contact and focus on yourself. But the new supply, they think they just found gold. What they found was pyrite, fool's gold. They found nothing but smoke and mirrors. They found a relationship built upon quicksand. They found a relationship that will dissolve or be destroyed or destructed as soon as the narcissist finds a better source of supply, or a new shiny object, or a place where they believe the grass is going to be greener. You see, that's what the narcissist did with you. And that's what they're doing with the new supply, and on and on and on. The narcissist is always looking to elevate their lifestyle, their circumstances, their bank account, their relationships, the car they drive, the hair style they have, and anything else about them. Because it's everything to the narcissist is the outward appearance. It is what is important to them. That's why they need to be seen with the coolest people, attend the highest ceremonies or the highest barbecues, etc. That's why they need to be invited to parties and be seen in all over social media, etc. Not always, but usually. But you see, that all goes away when somebody like you is removed from the relationship, no matter if you were discarded or you ended it yourself, because you provided something that the new supply can't provide. And you need to understand something. The new supply is either one of three people. One, they're a toxic person themselves. Two, they're a recycled source of supply who hasn't healed or figured out what narcissism is, or broken the trauma bond. Or C, they're a clean slate. But no matter how you cut it, that person is either the abuser or being abused. And now we understand that narcissistic relationships, they center around abuse. And that's what you experienced for the length of that relationship. But now you're out. Now you've slowed your life down. You've now exited, or perhaps you're still in the cocoon of boundaries where you have processed so many things, and you took a good look at all those people around you, starting with the narcissist and going down to maybe your immediate family members and past romantic relationships, friends, colleagues, coworkers, people in hobby and groups or organizations you are and or were a part of, or maybe business relationships. You take a closer look at all those people and you figure out who serves you or who doesn't. And if people serve you, you keep them around. If they don't, you either keep them at arm's distance or you remove them. But this is what you've had to do, or it's what you will do. That's not what the narcissist is doing. The narcissist is looking for the next new shiny object. They're looking for somebody who can elevate them to the next level. And that's what the new supply is supposed to be for the narcissist. But the new supply many times doesn't turn out to be who you think they are, certainly not who the narcissist thinks they are. And this is when the narcissist will hit hard times. This is when the narcissist will have overplayed their hand. This is when the narcissist, who was accustomed to living in a beautiful home with you, or house with you, or property with you, when they had 3, 4, 5 bedrooms, whatever it was, and the kids were around and everything was appeared to be going well, although you were experiencing toxicity. That's when this all goes away, i.e. specifically if you were discarded, well, the narcissist won't get things like that again. Why? Because they're lazy, they're cowards, they're bullies, they have to steal from other people, and the new supply won't have what you have. Now you may say, well, the new supply is loaded, they have a whole bunch of money. That's great. Doesn't change the fact that they're being abused or they're the abuser. You see, nobody wins in the narcissistic relationship until you heal. That's exactly how these things work. When you're in the narcissistic relationship, you make excuses for the narcissist, even though your life is spiraling downward. Their life isn't, yours is. When you get out of the relationship, no matter how you get out of it, your life, really, you have to hit rock bottom, because you have to find yourself. You have to lose yourself to find yourself, and I'm sure that's what you figured out by now. That's what I had to do. And then you put yourself back together. And then that's when you rise through the ashes like a phoenix and you enter the third version of you. But the narcissist can't do that. You see, they're stuck in that low vibrational quagmire state, lower than your shoe, and they know it. And they can't get out of that. That's why they need people to regulate them. That's why without people, or without smartphones, or without batteries in their smartphones, or without electricity, or without a beautiful house that you had, or car, or whatever you had, and I'm not a tangible asset person, I'm just giving you illustrations of what you probably provided for the narcissist. When that all goes away, and the new supply, they have no money, they're not intelligent, they don't have what you had. They actually, maybe they're smart and they figured out earlier because they were in a toxic relationship beforehand, and they put 2 and 2 together and said, wait, I've seen this rodeo before, I'm out, I want nothing to do with you, narcissist. Who knows what's going on here? But again, each and every narcissistic relationship expires. They all end with a thud, a crash, a bang. These are some of the most debilitating, challenging relationships you'll ever be a part of. That's why I strongly suggest to go no contact, etc. But when the narcissist's life spirals downward, it has spiraled downward way more times than you will ever know. Think about the vacations that were blown up. Think about all the times the narcissist disappeared. Think about all the holidays and the birthdays that were blown up. Well, that was all on purpose by the narcissist, because they couldn't have people living their best life. And when all those people go away because they see behind the mask finally, and they understand that that person who you're thinking about is a toxic person, maybe even a narcissist, and they remove themselves from the relationship with that person, just like you have, that's when the narcissist doesn't have many places to turn. This is why the narcissist has to relocate so frequently. This is why they can never sit still. This is why they are always moving houses or apartments or towns or cities or states or countries, because what they do is they stay in communities. They take whatever they can, they blow up relationships in that community or town or city, then they go on to another one and they get a fresh start. Now, not each and every narcissist does that, but you'd be surprised how many do. And why do you think they have to do that? Well, they have to restart their life because they are looking for unsuspecting people, new people to believe in the mask, new people to manipulate, new shiny objects. And this is how the life of the narcissist will eventually spiral downward, and it won't improve. Why I'm saying that is because each and every one of these people, they not only become the aging narcissist, which is what? That's right, the aging narcissist is not a pretty sight to see, but these people deteriorate, they do not improve, they destroy, they do not build, they are not committed, they want to confront, they do not co-parent, they want to counter-parent. And the narcissist is a sinking ship. And once people wake up and smell the coffee and stop giving them chances and opportunities and believing that they will change, that is when the narcissist will have nowhere to turn. And that's when they'll be looking in the mirror, which will be a cracked mirror, which is so many years of bad luck, if you believe in that kind of stuff or not, just throwing it out there. They'll be looking at that saying, what did I do? I had it all. I had the best relationship. I had a person that cared about me. I had beautiful children. I had a home. I had a job. Or maybe I didn't, but I had everything covered. And I threw it all away. Why did I throw it away? Oh, that's right. Because I'm a toxic, narcissistic person. That's what I do. Because I don't care about anybody but myself. So what do I have to do now? I have to look in that mirror, the cracked mirror, because I'm getting older and more wrinkles are appearing on my face. And I have to say to myself, okay, I need to tell myself I'm the best. My life isn't spiraling downward. I matter. I'm important. People love me. People care about me. People look up to me. People worship me. Oh, that's right. Here's a new mask. I'll go out and I'll start the day again, and I'll see who I can fool and manipulate into buying what I'm selling, which is that I am not who I claim to be. Understand what I'm sharing with you all. The narcissist life will spiral downward, and it will continue to get worse and worse. These people's lives never improve. They can't improve because with all the toxicity they've administered or dished out over the years, it comes back to haunt them. It comes back to roost in their tiny little brain. And the narcissist, once they realize that so many people are catching on to them and figuring out who they are, they don't have anywhere to turn. There's nowhere to run. Not anyone, not even a higher power can save these people from themselves. That's why you need to run for the hills and get away from them. I'll say that again. Nobody can save the narcissist. That's why the narcissist is always on the run. They're always looking at the skeletons in the closets that they've slammed shut behind them. That's why they're always looking over their shoulder. That's why they always have one foot in the relationship and one foot out. That's why they need to end relationships like that and destroy relationships with children, with spouses, with neighbors, with colleagues, with siblings, with parents, with anybody they possibly can, because this is what they know. And the less they care, the more pain they can administer to other people. And the more the other people care, the more healing they have to do, which is why you've had to put yourself back together. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I hope you enjoyed the video. I love doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. I think I said it once earlier. I want to let you know before I close the video that the narcissist life will spiral downward. It's probably doing it right now. The life of them is probably doing it right now, because when you, the person watching the video, when you're out of the relationship, you really have to slow your life down and heal and process things. That's what we do, because we have a heart, because we have empathy, because we have to wrap our head around that there are people out there that never cared about us, yet they claim that they did. And there are people that can fake love and fake empathy, etc. But that's why you are a unique person. That's why you are a rare breed. That's why you are an empath, and that's why you're becoming, or you have become, the educated empath. The narcissist doesn't have to do any of that. They can't introspect. They can't be accountable. There's nothing to heal from. All they're going to do is slither away onto a new person or new location or new job or new community or new hobby group or whatever they're doing, and they're going to try and blend in and get other people to drink the special sauce of the toxicity that the narcissist is dishing out. And the more people the narcissist encounters, the better likelihood or the higher chance that they'll get another person to fall into the same trap that you fell into. Understand what I'm sharing with you. This is no way to live your life, to not be authentic, to not be genuine, and to want to destroy people's lives, their relationships, their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations, their goals, and anything about them. But that's what the narcissist does. And believe me when I tell you, it will come back to roost in the tiny little pea brain of the narcissist. It will come back to haunt them. If it hasn't already, it will. Maybe not tonight, maybe not tomorrow, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. So stay away from these people. Learn to say no, the strongest word in the English language. Have boundaries, and look the other way and get these people out of your life. If not now, when? I love you all. God bless you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.